Nefertiti, whose name means the beauty has arrived, emerged as a remarkable figure in an era where power was rigidly controlled. Her rise to the throne of Egypt, alongside her husband Akhenaten, is a story of determination, charisma, and audacity. Imagine ancient Egypt, a dazzling civilization with its majestic pyramids and temples dedicated to a myriad of gods. Amidst this backdrop, Nefertiti was not merely a decorative figure beside the pharaoh. From a young age, she exhibited intelligence and strength of character that quickly set her apart. Marrying Akhenaten was not merely a political alliance, but a meeting of two visionary minds ready to transform their world. In taking on the role of great royal wife, Nefertiti challenged traditional norms. She was not content to be a silent consort. Instead, Nefertiti became a co-regent, ruling alongside Akhenaten with unprecedented authority. Artistic representations of the time often show her as an equal to the pharaoh, participating in religious ceremonies, diplomatic acts, and even in battle scenes, something almost unheard of for a woman in Egyptian history. Her reign marked the beginning of a cultural and religious revolution. Nefertiti and Akhenaten moved Egypt's capital to a new city, Akhenaten, now known as Amarna. In this new city, they established the monotheistic worship of the god Aten, the sun disk, challenging millennia of polytheistic tradition. This radical change was not just a religious reform, but a true social transformation that shook the foundations of Egyptian power. Nefertiti was not only a figure of power, but also an icon of beauty and grace. Her famous busts, discovered centuries later, reveal a woman of elegant features and majestic bearing, capturing the imagination of future generations. But do not be deceived by the serenity of her countenance. Behind this beauty was a shrewd and relentless leader. The history of ancient Egypt is marked by great upheavals, but few are as bold as the Amarna Revolution. At the heart of this transformation were Nefertiti and Akhenaten, a royal couple determined to change the course of history. Imagine an Egypt bound by millennia-old traditions, where gods were many and temples dedicated to them dominated the cities. In this conservative setting, Nefertiti and Akhenaten emerged as forces of change. By embracing the worship of the god Aten, the sun disk, they initiated the first recorded attempt at monotheism in history. This was not just a religious shift, but a true revolution challenging the established order. Nefertiti, with her intelligence and charisma, played a crucial role in this transition. She was not merely a passive consort by Akhenaten's side, but acted as an active co-regent. The two ruled together, guiding Egypt down a new and uncertain path. They abandoned Thebes, the traditional capital, and founded a new city, Akhenaten, horizon of Aten, known today as Amarna. Akhenaten was not just a new capital but the center of a new world. The city was designed to be the seat of the worship of Aten, with open temples exposed to the sun, unlike the dark-roofed temples of old. Nefertiti and Akhenaten were depicted in art in unprecedented ways, in intimate moments with their daughters, worshipping Aten together, showing a new face of Egyptian royalty that combined divine power with humanity. The Amarna Revolution extended beyond religion. Politics and society also underwent significant changes. By centralizing power around the worship of Aten, Nefertiti and Akhenaten reduced the influence of the priests of Amun, who had become a powerful force and sometimes a rival to the pharaoh's authority. This concentration of power in the monarchs and the new religion created deep tensions but also allowed Nefertiti and Akhenaten to have more direct and centralized control over Egypt. However, the revolution was not easily accepted. Many Egyptians resented the destruction of their old gods and temples. The nobility and the priests of Amun in particular saw their traditions and privileges threatened. Yet Nefertiti, with her unwavering determination, continued to promote the new religion and its reforms, facing resistance with fierce conviction. But not all of Nefertiti's life was bathed in glory and sunlight. Despite her powerful influence during Akhenaten's reign, the final fate of the Egyptian queen remains shrouded in mystery and speculation. After Akhenaten's death, historical records about Nefertiti become scarce and ambiguous. Some historians suggest she assumed the throne alone, reigning for a brief period as pharaoh. Others argue she vanished from public view, perhaps dying prematurely or being deposed by opposing political forces. The lack of concrete evidence about Nefertiti's fate has given rise to a series of intriguing theories. Some believe she continued to rule under a different name, maintaining her influence away from public eyes. Others speculate she was forced into exile, perhaps as a result of palace intrigues or political upheavals. However, one of the most fascinating theories is the possibility that Nefertiti played a role in the rise of one of the most famous pharaohs in Egyptian history, Tutankhamun. Some scholars suggest she could have been the mother of the young king, which would explain her absence from historical records after Akhenaten's death. The mystery surrounding Nefertiti's disappearance has only deepened over the centuries, fueling the imagination of archaeologists, historians, and enthusiasts of Egyptian history. Her enigmatic figure continues to fascinate and intrigue, leaving us with more questions than answers about her life and legacy. The story of Nefertiti doesn't end with her death or disappearance from historical records. On the contrary, her legacy continues to resonate through the centuries, leaving an indelible mark on culture and popular imagination. Depictions of Nefertiti, with her iconic beauty and majestic posture, continue to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers worldwide. Her image is often evoked as a symbol of elegance, feminine power, and the mystery of ancient Egypt. Furthermore, archaeological discoveries and advancements in modern technology continue to reveal more about Nefertiti's life and reign. The famous bust of Nefertiti, discovered in 1912 by the German archaeologist Ludwig Borchardt, is one of the most famous representations of the Egyptian queen. This bust, now displayed in the Neue Museum in Berlin, captures the public's imagination and remains a subject of study and debate among experts. In addition to the bust, other archaeological findings, such as inscriptions and artifacts found in Amarna, shed light on Nefertiti's reign and the religious and political revolution she helped lead. New technologies, like computerized tomography and DNA analysis, also offer new perspectives on the life and death of the Egyptian queen. But perhaps Nefertiti's greatest legacy is the lasting impact she had on Egypt's history and global consciousness. Her determination to challenge norms and shape the destiny of a nation inspired future generations to dream big and fight for change. Her name remains alive in the hearts and minds of those who seek to understand the past and find inspiration for the future. Nefertiti, the lost queen of Egypt, may have vanished from historical records, but her legacy lives on forever as a powerful testament to the power and beauty found in humanity's history. Imagine an era where gods were not only worshipped in hearts and minds, but also in the majestic temples that dotted the landscape of ancient Egypt. In this time of transformation and renewal under the reign of Nefertiti and Akhenaten, the temples of Aten arose, a tangible testament to the power and influence of the Egyptian queen. These temples, erected in honor of the god Aten, the sun disk, were a physical expression of the new monotheistic religion that Nefertiti and Akhenaten promoted. Built in a time of turmoil and change, they represented not only a place of worship, but also a symbol of a radically different worldview. Most impressive among these temples was the Great Temple of Aten in Akhenaten, the capital founded by Nefertiti and Akhenaten. This magnificent complex was dedicated to the exclusive worship of Aten, with grand open courtyards and outdoor altars designed to receive the sunlight in all its glory. Here, priests and devotees gathered to celebrate the sun god, offering prayers and rituals in his honor. In addition to the Great Temple, other smaller temples dedicated to Aten were built throughout the city of Akhenaten, witnessing the proliferation of the new cult and the growing influence of Nefertiti and Akhenaten. These structures, though modest compared to the Great Temple, were equally important as centers of devotion and religious teaching. The temples of Aten were not only architectural wonders, but also centers of power and politics. Through the control of these temples, Nefertiti and Akhenaten consolidated their authority over the Egyptian people, positioning themselves as intermediaries between the sun god and their subjects. They used these structures not only as places of worship, but also as instruments of propaganda and control, shaping the minds and faith of their followers. However, with Akhenaten's death and the subsequent return to traditional polytheism, the temples of Aten were abandoned and eventually destroyed, their splendors fading into the sands of time. But even in their ruin, they continue to tell the story of an era of change and renewal, a testament to the ephemeral power and eternal quest for truth in the history of ancient Egypt.